All right. So you guys are right. We're gonna kind of work on tenses, like for
Past
verbs.
tense, present tense, and future tense.
Yes. Do you guys know what a verb is?
What?
Do you know what a verb is?
Yeah. Oh yeah, verb. Wait,
What's a
I thought you
verb?
said verb. A
That's
verb
one of them. Not a verb though. Yeah.
is something you do.
Yeah, it's like an action. So like you're running or
Oh, that's
talking, like it's
that's
something
me.
you're doing. It's an action. I think that was a noun that you were talking about there.
Oh yeah.
So you guys know what tenses are then?
Yeah.
So
I
verb
learned it
tenses.
in like 7th grade.
So give me an example of a past tense.
I walked to the store yesterday.
Wow, that is so good. I like the choice. So here's some examples. I'm gonna go through these by myself and just kind of do them so you guys can watch and see how I do it. All right. So the first one, your example was very spot on. But so I walked to the store yesterday. We're talking about verb tenses, right? So verb in my head is walk. Some walking or doing something, some action. So I walked to the store yesterday, and then I see yesterday,
You circle it.
and for me that's like past tense, right? So instead of walked, I'm gonna put walked. You guys don't have to write this down yet. This is just me doing it. So the second one is I will lifted weights tonight. That doesn't sound right at all, right?
Lifted is just tonight.
So in my head, I see lifted because that's an action of someone doing something. And then I also see tonight.
Which
And that kind of shows me that
Which
it's in the future.
present.
Yeah, same thing. No. A little bit off. But
Little.
tonight is like, tonight I'm going to have spaghetti for supper.
You are?
No. But that's future tense. So tonight means in the future. So I will lift weights. And that's kind of a different one because you know how it's like past is usually like ed, present is ing, like at the end. So it's like
Lifted, future is just like
ING.
normal.
yeah, and then there's the infinitive. That's what it's called. So it's like that one fits infinitive.
Infinitive.
Yeah, I guess
Like
I
you may
can,
never do it.
that's not even what we're talking about. But I am listened to the teacher.
I am listening.
Well, thank you. So I see
I'm listening to
this is the action, and for me, am, like I am, that means I'm doing it right now. So I am, what'd you guys say?
Listening.
Listening.
Why do you write like this?
Well, I was at it right.
Anyways.
Watch your own bobber. It's okay. Alright. So on your papers, we're going to work through 3 sentences together. I'm going to say the sentence. I want you to write it all the way out. And then we're going to try to do this, underline the verb, and then try to circle the things that kind of give you hints or clues. So it could be a couple things too. That tells you either it's in the past, the present, or the future. So the first sentence that you're going to write down is Rachel climbed the tree and what?
How do you spell Rachel?
Rachel, R-A-C-H-E-L.
Rachel climbed the tree.
So Rachel climbed the tree. You can use your dominant hand with this. You don't have to use your left hand. If you guys are, you're left-handed. You're left-handed. Okay. So we got only 2 weird kids here. You got 2 good ones there. And this kid. Alright, so Rachel climbed the tree and rescued the cat.
So is this a compound sentence?
Yes, it is.
The cat?
The cat.
2 verbs.
Alright, so Rachel climbed the tree and rescued the cat.
Wait.
So who, raise your hand if you think you found what doesn't sound right. Kaden.
It's and Rachel climbed the tree and rescued the cat.
Okay.
Climbed means past tense. So,
Past tense, right?
So why would it be the tree rescue the cat. Shouldn't it be rescued the cat?
That's a good point. You guys agree with him? I think he's on to it. So he said that there's two verbs. The first verb is in past tense, so it shows that we're talking about something that already happened. But then the second verb continued the story about rescuing a cat. So therefore it should be past tense as well.
Or unless you
So
make
good job.
it
And then what I do is I try to like circle the things that kind of give me hints. So if that helps you, just kind of go through and read it, circle it, and then go back and kind of. All right. So the next sentence is Bobby. You can spell that any way you want. Had misplaced her backpack. Had misplaced her backpack, but is finding it in the closet.
misplaced
So-
her?
Bobby had misplaced her backpack.
That's a weird name for a girl.
Maybe it's a boy. But is finding it in the the closet. Sorry. Okay.
It's finding it in the cat. Did the cat eat it?
No. I almost said cabinet.
So Bobby had misplaced her backpack.
Yep.
But is looking for it in the closet.
But is finding it in the closet. So give me a thumbs up when you have it all written out, or if you have a question, just raise your hand. I can repeat it again.
Closet. Why did I put closet? The closet. Bobby had misplaced her backpack. I don't see anything wrong with it.
Backpack?
I don't see anything wrong with it. So wait, what was it? Bobby had misplaced her backpack, but is finding it. I don't see anything wrong with it.
That's interesting. I'll write it up here too, so we can kind of see it up here. So we can work through it on here.
I want to. Unless it's gonna be had misplaced her backpack, but it found it in the closet. Bobby. So it has an I? Well, he said we can spell it anyway.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways to spell on that.
You could put E. I put Y. Yeah, I put. That's what I did. I just put P. That's the most common way to spell Bobby. Bobby. Bobby, yeah. Bobby has like 11.
Alright, so is this what you guys have on your paper?
Yep.
Word for word?
Word for word.
Awesome. So, Bobby had misplaced her backpack, but is finding it in the closet. So, help me find the verbs. I know this one is one for sure.
Misplaced.
Yep.
Finding.
And finding.
Are we supposed to put but found it in the closet?
Why do you think that?
Well, I feel like this sentence looks normal unless, like, maybe it was not that long ago when she misplaced her backpack, but is now finding it.
Okay. So, what do you think, Brendan?
But she's still doing it.
You don't know? It's alright.
Unless you want to
So-
change it to.
What I was thinking is Bobby had misplaced her backpack. That's kind of like, I broke it up into two sentences almost. So Bobby had misplaced her backpack. So we're talking about past tense, right? We got the had, which that kind of reminded me of that. And then we also had the ed. Misplaced her backpack, but is finding it in the closet. For me, finding it in the closet is like multiple things. Like you're finding things. Like you're going through and finding a bunch of stuff. But this is one thing, right?
I forgot what I was going to do. Found it.
So-
Misplaced her backpack.
What would we have to change in the sentence? We might have to change. Oop. Sorry, I spelled that wrong. We might have to change more than just one word, right?
Yeah, we're gonna have to remove get rid of this is unless
So get rid of this.
yes.
but found
in the closet.
it in the closet. That one was a little tough.
So I was right. I was just kind of like
Yep.
not
No,
sure.
because sometimes is finding is kind of put together sometimes. Like sometimes you need a descriptive word out there in front. Alright, and now for, I'll erase this. I'll put another one. We don't need that.
I lifted weights tonight.
Alright. So the last one is every day for the last week,
Every day.
Cooper goes to the park and ran.
Every day for the last week. Cooper. Every day for the last week, Cooper did what?
Cooper goes to the park.
Cooper goes for the last day. Cooper goes every day for the last day. Cooper went to the park. Week, not day. And ran 5 miles.
So that's the sentence right here. Every day for the last week, Cooper goes to the park and ran 5 miles.
I already see the problem.
That's good. Alright, give me a thumbs up when you're all ready to go.
What? I just got that.
Just like when you have it written down, Joel.
Oh yeah.
You got it? You have a thumb. Sweet, there it is. Awesome. So, where's the, if there's more than one, how many verbs do you guys see?
2.
2? Tell me where.
Ran and goes.
And what?
Goes. I see the problem.
Alright, I agree with that. So, Callie, what are hints that you see that could kind of help you? Wait, like last week?
I got last. I found
Yeah.
last.
Circle that.
That's probably gonna be.
Anything else? So if we're talking last week, that sounds like past tense to me, right? So every day last week. So every day last week is kind of taken over for that. What do you think, Hayden?
Goes.
Goes.
D-E-S at the end of go. Because if.
Maybe.
Went. It wants. It
We're-
has to be went.
We're gonna work on trying to find hints first, though.
Oh. Because goes is present tense.
So this is what I'm thinking. I know where you're trying to go with it. Last week is the one that pops out right away for me.
Ran.
But I think ran is also past tense. So that kind of gives me a hint saying like maybe this might just be correct. Right? Because every day for the last week he went to the park every single day and ran 5 miles. So it makes sense. So now if we think this is correct, we might just leave that, right? So this is kind of the main focus over here. So what do you think, Joel? Goes? Does that sound right? If you say every day for the last week, Cooper goes to the park and ran 5 miles?
I put down the went.
When? That's what I was thinking in my head too. Do we have any other words that you guys chose?
When I first wrote this, I looked up there and then I put went right here. When I thought it was a good, and then I looked back up and then I realized it was goes.
Oh, so you caught it right away. That's good. You guys all agree with this? Okay. So I think that's how it should be. Because every day for the last week, Cooper went to the park and ran 5 miles. Kind of see how that worked? Alright. So, Now on your papers, you can draw like a line, kind of divide it. Or I guess you were doing that. Do a squiggly line maybe.
So divide 4 from 3.
What are you doing math for?
You meant like
Yeah. Alright, so now I'm going to give you sentences. You guys are going to write them down. And then you're going to do them by yourself. I'll let you guys have a little work time to do that. So I'll read out the first sentence.
Are we gonna like get another paper? Or are we gonna like turn it in?
Not this one. There's one after this.
Oh.
So the first sentence is, they had been.
They had been. When did I put had? Had.
They had been laughed so hard that they were in tears.
They had been laughed so hard. They've been in tears.
That-
They've been in tears.
So hard that they were in tears.
They were so hard.
We're just going to write down all 3 sentences first, and then I'll let you guys have some time to go through them. So thumbs up when you guys have the first one done. Do you have the first one written down, Caden?
Yep.
Okay, so the second sentence is, the children play all day. The children play all day yesterday until it was time for bed. Give me a thumbs up, or if you have a question, raise your hand.
For bed.
The children played all day yesterday until it was time for bed. And then the third one is, what are you cook for dinner?
I can see all the problems.
That's good. I'm glad you guys kind of worked with this a little bit beforehand.
What are you cook for dinner?
Yes.
What are you cook for dinner?
Alright, so Brinley, can you read the first sentence we have? Perfect. Callie, the second one? Okay. And then Joel, could you read the last one for me? Just make sure everybody's got it.
What are you cook for dinner?
Awesome. So now go through, and just like we did up here together, underline the verbs, circle the hints, and then fix the verb to the right tense. Then when you're done, just put your pencils down. That'll show me that you're ready.
Wait, do we have to underline the stuff that?
Yeah, I want you to underline the verbs, and then circle the hints that it kind of gives you, and then change the verb to the right one. Just like we've been doing.
The hints and the verb.
So with those three, could we kind of share out and see what you guys did? Oh, we just did. Callie, you want to do the first one?
The first one I did underline laughed and circled dad, and then changed laughed to laugh.
Okay. So you chose laughed, and then change it to laugh. Who agrees with that? Can someone help her out a little bit?
I did laughing
Okay. Why'd you do laughing?
because they said that like they had been like doing like
Okay.
not I guess
Because they did it past 10. It was past tense.
Yep. So they had been laughing so hard that they were in tears. It's kind of one of those weird
like
ones
had
that
been
Yeah.
had been like tells you that like
I think they're talking about when they were laughing, like during that time they were doing that, they were in tears. That was kind of the picture they were trying to talk about, but they were saying in the past.
that's what I circled had been and were.
Yep, that's good. Alright. Brinley, do you want to do the second one for me?
The children played birthday
Awesome. That's one I had too.
I underlined.
You guys all agree with that?
I underlined play and then circled yesterday and it was.
What ones did you circle?
I underlined
Yesterday? Awesome. Alright, Caden, what was the last one?
What are you cooking?
Does everybody agree with that?
I circled are because to me it's kind of like present tense. I
Yeah.
circled like if it was supposed to be past tense, like what did.
Alright. So you guys can go to lunch quick, and then when we come back, we'll finish up the last couple questions.